DAKARAI of Race First. I don't know what he has for us, but I'm prepared. So I want you guys to give, and ladies, his full attention, okay? Ashe and amen.
Peace, Black family. How y'all doing today? Today is a beautiful day. Today is a mighty day. We are here today to celebrate our ancestors. I want to first start off by saying that Juneteenth is not about celebrating that white people released us from the plantation. It's not about that. It's about our ancestors enduring some hard situations. But we still standing here today because even in 2021, our people are still being enslaved in other places across the world. And we still facing torture here in this land known as America. And so for that, Black family, give yourselves a round of applause. Because it's not easy. It's not easy standing up and striving. Single mothers, single fathers, people getting locked up, people getting shot, not knowing what's going to happen if you stand up for yourself. And so I want to be able to talk about unity today, the importance of rallying around unity. And since we talk about peace, I want to also say that peace, getting peace in times of war, it's not going to be easy and it's not pretty. It's going to be a struggle. It's a fight. So the first thing that I want to say is that unity is spiritual. Because at the end of the day, our ancestors don't like what they see happening to us. They don't like when they see our families separating. They don't like when they see us strung out on drugs and fighting one another and killing each other over blocks. They don't like to see us identifying ourselves with things that's devaluing our manhood and our womanhood. They don't like that. And so to restore ourselves, to come together, that's a spiritual mandate. Next, I want to say that unity is intentional. Because a lot of times we hear people say, oh, we need to come together, we need to do this, we need to do that. But at the end of the day, it don't happen automatically. There is an awakening within today's times. People are being more receptive to the truth and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that we're going to unify together with one another, because at the end of the day, people have to make that decision. And so I want to talk about one of our great revolutionary named Baba George Jackson, because he said it's the job of the revolutionary to create the revolution. Because at the end of the day, it don't do it by itself, they have to make it happen. I want to also talk about Che Guevara. He said revolution is not the apple falling from the tree by itself. He said it's the revolutionary that shake the tree and make the apple fall. I'm gonna say it again. Revolution is not the apple falling from the tree by itself. It's the revolutionary that shake the tree and make it fall. All right, so I'm saying that to say that we have to be intentional about creating the change that we want to see in our community. It don't happen by itself. The same way we make our children, we gotta make our situation change for itself. Because at the end of the day, our people are not going to unify by itself. A lot of our people, we don't care. We hopeless in a lot of ways. And so it's going to be our responsibility. Those who know, those who have the knowledge, those who say we woke, those who say we are revolutionary, those who say I'm down for the movement, those who look up to the Black Panther Party, those who studying and reading, we got to be the leaders to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to lead my people. Because at the end of the day, it's the job of those who have that information to go out there and lead. Lead don't mean dictate. Lead mean you guiding somebody, you inspiring somebody, you showing somebody the way, because at the end of the day, the light has to be cut on in people's mind. At one point in time, I wasn't like this. I wasn't like this. It took me time to get here, but I chose to be on this path. And so I'm saying, those of us that's here today, you making that step towards being here for your people, because you don't have to be here today. You could be here doing something else. And so I want to say that that's the reason why unity is intentional. We have to create it on purpose. So next, I want to say that unity is purposeful, because we have to know why we're coming together. Like, we can't just be coming together because we're going to be coming together to do some bad stuff. People's unified to do a lot of bad stuff. And so I'm saying our unity has to be about Black power. And when I say Black power, I'm saying our ability as a race to determine our own destiny, to control what happens to us. Because at the end of the day, we don't need to live life reacting to what other races do to us. We don't need to live life dependent on other races, because that's going to keep us in this perpetual state of always hurting, always wishing, and always just looking for somebody to come save us. Like the mama said, nobody's coming to save us in 2021. Because at the end of the day, the Creator lives inside of each and every one of us. We got to pull on that power. And so our purpose in coming together got to be about black power. So we say about building the black businesses, but not just that. Also understanding our culture and our history, because that's going to give you your power. Your power comes from your self-identity. If we identify with things that's dangerous to us, if we identify with another race culture, then we're not going to be moving in our own interests. So we got to know what it means to be about black power. It's talking about us controlling what happens to us controlling our own reality, us having a nation of our own. Because wherever Asian people go in the world, they're protected by that Asian nation. Wherever white people go in the world, they're protected by that white nation. And they're proud of that. They're going to put their hand over their heart when they say the Pledge of Allegiance, because they believe in America. We got to be the same way about us coming together for ourselves and us building black power for our future generations. Because our children, when they come here, they depend on us. They don't have us saying what's going to happen to us when they come here. We got to protect them, and so we have to be purposeful about our unity. Also, I just want to draw an example about a race being purposeful. So recently in Texas, the white government, they came together and they said that we're not going to allow the teachers to teach racism in school in relation to structural, like people being able to see real racism in real time. At the end of the day, they don't want people to understand how racism is affecting stuff currently. They call it the critical race theory bill. Basically in school, people are not going to be able to teach racism in relation to police brutality. They're not going to be able to teach racism in relation to how society is set up and how we never got reparations and how they still benefited off of all the money they got off of enslavement. They're not going to be able to teach that stuff no more. And so what that's doing, that's them working for their purpose of white power. That empowers them. That don't help us. So I just wanted to say that so that we could see and draw the comparison about being purposeful about our unity, because they come together all the time to do stuff like that. And many of us don't know. We just find out, oh, what does my child learn in school? But at the end of the day, it's too late when that happens. Like, we got to know that when they go into these public schools, these are not public schools. They call it that, but these are schools that's designed for white people for real. But when you come there, you're learning how to perpetuate their society, how to keep their society going. So we got to know clearly what we're dealing with. So that's why we got to be purposeful about our unity. Next, I want to be able to also speak about that unity is political. Because at the end of the day, many of us believe that politics is just going to vote for somebody, but that's not true. That's one part of politics. Politics really talks about like group interests, the interests of a race. And so I want to be able to speak about the Haitian Revolution when I say this, because in Haiti, at the end of the day, they came together to release themselves from the plantation, but it was political in the fact that we moving on the interest to get off of this plantation because it's affecting all of us. I'm not just thinking about myself or just my family. At the end of the day, we in this mud together, so we got to get out together. And so I want to be able to highlight one of our women from history. Her name is Mama Sisa Fatima. She used to travel in the middle of the night from plantation to plantation, seeking out leaders on the plantation and be like, all right, this is the plan. And it took her years to do this. She spent 4 years, about 4 years going from different plantations, setting up a code language, saying this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to move. And so when it came about, it wasn't just reactionary. They had a plan behind it. It was proactive. And so at the end of the day, that's what we got to think about when we say politics, not just thinking about voting, because we get caught up in Democrat, we get caught up in Republican, not knowing that to be political is to be right here, right now for your people. Being political is doing what you got to do to stay together with your family, because it's going to affect the next generation. Being political is going out there and doing community work, because at the end of the day, we have to go out into the community. If we don't take care of the community, it's going to harm us. So in another way, I want to also speak about politics and the example from how it's been harming us. Because at the end of the day, like, we have to be able to know what we're working up against. And so I want to be able to speak about this thing called the United Nations. People think that, matter of fact, no, instead of doing that, I'm going to speak about the police department. I'm going to speak about the police department. So, look, at the end of the day, when they created the Constitution, they created these laws to work in the interest of their race, the white race. And so the police is set up to defend the laws of the land and enforce the laws of the land. So we got to understand that what the police department do to us, that's political. That's political. At the end of the day, that's their job to enforce the law of this land, not the law, their law, the law of white people. We got to understand what that means when people say politics. It's group interest. It's talking about the interest of a race. And so the police department, that's another example of the white race coming together and organizing to protect themselves, which they're supposed to do. The same way that we're supposed to do it for ourselves. And so, leading y'all to the next part of what I'm going to say, the Race First movement is about that. It's about how can we unify around a concrete term that we can identify with and say race first. Yeah, I mean, I'm unified with my black people. And this is a lifestyle. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight. We got to understand that it's going to take time for us to get out this situation, but it's not a specific date one. I'm not going to say it's going to take 100 years. It's up to us. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's intentional. So it depends on how much effort we put into it. And so I just want to basically be able to define what it means to be race first. It means thought and behavior that places the social, political, economic interests, spiritual well-being, and overall material survival of the black race first. And so when we identify with that, that means we saying we're willing to look out for our people first, no matter what, in all areas, and not being ashamed for it because we've been conditioned to feel embarrassed or to say, oh, I don't want to be a racist, so I'm not going to say I'm for my people first. No, we're not going to do that because that's killing us. People want to say stuff like, oh, race is a social contract. Man, stop saying that. Y'all use race to build this society, so we're not going to just drop it like that, man. We're not going to do that because that's hurting our children. At the end of the day, when you go apply for a job, what they say? What you black, what you white, you Asian, that's still dealing with race, so we're not going to stop using race. We got to unify around race. And so I just want to let y'all know that the Race First rally is going to be going on in August 28th. It don't belong to just one organization. It's something that all black organizations can rally behind, and that could be a government for us at some point in time when we get to that point of really having something looking out for us on a consistent basis amount of time of how much we invest into it. And so the Race First rally is already taking place in Philadelphia, Mississippi, Arkansas, all on the same day at the same time. So it's like we unified. And this is something that can expand internationally. So I want us to all get behind it, all those black people that's ready to do something about our situation. Come check us out. I got flyers right here with me. August 28th, the Race First movement, the Race First rally is here for us. And I appreciate y'all giving me y'all time. My name is DAKARAI DJEHUTI. I'm here as a representative for the Pan-African Liberation Movement. You can check us out. Just come talk to me if you want to. And then I got some flyers for y'all as well. Thank you for your time.
How holding this mic? It's kind of hot. I can't come behind that. I really cannot come behind that, and I'm not going to try to. But the point of it is, you heard these three speakers, and we're talking about youths and young adults here. I'm well past that point.